Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopikakanta Radhakanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunvadi Pashya Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome to the Bhakti Shastri class. Today we'll be studying about chapter number 16, Divine and Demonic Natures, or Daivasura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga, the nature of divine and demonic. The 15th chapter, which is called as Purushottama Yoga, has compared this material world into a upside down tree, that is Ashwatha Vriksha. The real tree is in the spiritual world and the reflection is this material world. And the river on which this reflection is happening is the desire of a person, the material desire, which is causing the material creation. Because the living entity is desiring to enjoy like Krishna, and it is possible only in illusion, Krishna has created this material world. So nobody in the spiritual world can become like Krishna. One can be with Krishna. If we learn how to be with Krishna, then we are in the spiritual world. And if we are trying to become like Krishna, then this material world is for us. Because nobody can live like Krishna in the spiritual world. So they will be transferred here in the material world. Here anybody can try on themselves. You can do so many things so that you can also feel like I am the king, I am the controller, everything is under my control. So that kind of feeling is possible only in this material world. This is about how the material world is designed. Now this tree has fruits, and this is the Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. These are the fruits of the tree. Now the fruits are having two types. One is divine and other one is demonic. So these fruits of the tree is explained in this particular chapter, that is chapter number 16. Especially this chapter is talking about the demonic natures. The divine nature will be explained in brief in the beginning. But later on, what are the different demonic natures? What are the different tendencies? And what are the causes of a person to go to hell? All these things are explained in the next coming text in this chapter. So today we'll be learning what are the demonic natures in a person, and we should check, do we also have this kind of tendency, this kind of natures within us? Then it has to be removed. And how to remove this demonic tendency from us, and how we can become close to Krishna. Because when we are demonic, we can't go near Krishna. Because demonic means one who is trying to compete with the Lord, like Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. They just wanted to fight with the Lord. They wanted to kill the Lord, which is happening even today. Just like this, the atheists say there is no God. This is another way of telling that the God is no more. They are killing the God. So this kind of philosophy, the godless philosophy or godless civilization, this is all demonic. Let us start the study on this subject matter. श्री श्री राधा गोविंद की जय, श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Last week we have seen the banyan tree analogy and also Purushottama Yoga, and it also had the 14th chapter, the relation to current social, moral, and environmental issues. Then finally, application of 15.7 to 7 and 15 in preaching Krishna consciousness. Today's class, this is unit 3, not unit 5. Unit 3, lesson 3, divine and demonic natures. Now this 14, 15, 16 chapter, they have something similarity. They are telling what is good and what is bad. That they are separating good from bad. What is that? The 14th chapter, if you see, it is talking about Sattva, Rajas, and Tamaguna. That is, the chapter name is Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. It is separating the Sattva Guna from Raja and Tamaguna. That is separating the goodness from passion and ignorance, and recommending one to develop this goodness or Sattva Guna so that one can become near to Krishna. And the next chapter, 15th chapter, is talking about the material nature, the upper branches and lower branches. Upper branches are good and lower branches are bad. Upper branches are like the demigods and lower branches are like the demons. And in today's chapter, it is talking about divine nature and demonic nature. So these Sattva Guna or upper branches or divine nature, these are recommended. And Rajas and Tamas or lower branches or demonic natures, these are not recommended for a person. This is the similarities between these three chapters. So 14, 15 and 16. Text number 1 to 3, if you see text 16th chapter. The Lord is speaking. What are the different good qualities in the 16th chapter? So totally there are 26 good qualities or divine nature that one has to cultivate for becoming near to Krishna or performing devotional service to Krishna. And then Krishna will explain what are the demonic natures. So one is Daivi Sampat, other one is Asuri Sampat. Sampat means quality, Daivi means divine, and Asurik means it is a demonic nature. So here is the list of all the 26 qualities or Sampat. Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi Jnana Yoga Vyavastitihi Danam Damascha Yajnascha Swadhyaya Stapa Arjavam Ahimsa Satyam Akroda Tyaga Shantirapaishunam Daya Bhuteshu Aloluptvam Mardavam Hrira Chapalam Teja Kshama Dhruti Shaucham Adroho Natimanita Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim Abhijatasya Bharata. These are the 26 qualities. The beauty of this Sanskrit shloka is it will tell so many things in a very crisp manner so that we can easily remember them. So just by remembering these three shloka, we can remember all the good qualities. The fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of knowledge, charity, all these things are the Daivi Sampat. That means anybody who is having the quality of a demigod, or one who is a servant of the Lord, one who is acting in the right direction according to the direction of the Lord and the devotees, one who is obeying the Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, he will develop all these qualities, and he can become eligible to be a instrument in the hands of Krishna. Krishna has used Arjuna as the person to receive this Bhagavad Gita because he has Daivi Sampat. He is qualified. He cannot use Duryodhana as the person to speak Bhagavad Gita because he will not know the value of Bhagavad Gita, or he has no proper character which somebody can follow him. So to become an instrument in the hands of Krishna, that is, Krishna has told, Nimitta Matram Bhava Savyasachin. So to become an instrument of, also we need to have certain qualities. So these are the different qualities that one has to develop for becoming close to Krishna. Now, do we have to develop these qualities one by one? When we see the list of 26, then somebody may feel how to develop all these things one by one. So there is no way of developing this one by one. Just like first I'll develop fearlessness, then I'll think of purification of existence, then cultivation of knowledge, then the charity, self-control. Not like that. When we perform devotional service, or when we come to the devotional platform, these qualities will develop within us automatically. There is no separate endeavor that is needed. When we come to Krishna, just like when we come in front of the sun, all the ignorance is removed and the light is automatically present there. So we can see ourselves and we can see the world as it is, whatever as according to our vision. So all these things are happening just by coming in the presence of the light. Similarly, when we perform devotional service to the Lord, all the good qualities will come automatically. There is no separate endeavor that is needed to be practiced. That is, the shloka says in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvai gunais tatra sammasate sura. A person who is a devotee of the Lord, he has all the good qualities. A devotee means he is a gentleman. And a person who is a not devotee, Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvai gunays tatra samasate sura. Harau abhaktasya kuto mahadguna. One who is not a devotee of the Lord, kuto mahadguna, manorathe nasto davato bahi. He is only following the senses or the mind. Whatever the mind dictates, he is just following that. And he cannot have any good quality. Why it is so told that they can't have any good quality even though they behave like a gentleman? Because they don't know the real purpose of life. They know how to live, but they don't know why to live, or what is the purpose of this life. It's like a person knows how to drive, but he don't know what is the destination. So whatever they do, it is all finally going to be destroyed. And the example is given in the next shloka, in the same continuation in the 5th canto. Just like a fish which is present in the water, it will always feel like being in the water. It will never think that there is another world out of this water. That water itself is its world, and it is trying to become happy there itself. Similarly, a person who is in the material world, who is fully absorbed in the thoughts of material sense gratification, he is not thinking of coming out of it. And when a person is engaged in the sense gratification, he will do so many demonic activities just for gratifying his senses. So at any cost, he is ready to take any kind of occupation and become happy, try to get something out of this material world. So these are the different divine qualities sampadam, that is Daivi Sampad, one has to develop. Telling these things briefly, Krishna will continue to explain about the Asuri Sampad now. What are the different Asuri Sampad? This is explained in the next text number 4. Dambo darpo abhimanascha krodha parushymevacha ajnanam cha abhijatasya partha sampadam asurim. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance, these qualities belong to those of demonic nature, O son of Pritha. So these are the different demonic qualities in which the person is acting, and they will only create trouble for others. They'll become happy by seeing others unhappy. That is demonic. A devotee of the Lord, he is a paradukha dukhi. That means if he sees somebody unhappy, he will also feel unhappy. And if he will become happy by seeing the others happy. By making others happy, he will also become happy. But the demons are, it is exactly opposite. Demons are happy by seeing others unhappy. So that is the nature of demons. These are different qualities those demons will develop. And in the text number 21, in the same chapter, Krishna also describes the 3 great way to this hell. That is Trividam Narakasyedam Dwaram Nashanam Atmanaha Kama Krodastata Loba Tasmadeta Trayam Tejet. Lust, anger, and greed. These are the 3 things which can lead one to the hell. If somebody is cultivating these 3 things, they will end up in the hell. So these 3 things has to be given up at any cost. Whenever a person comes to Krishna consciousness in the beginning, he may have so many bad qualities. A person may be addicted to alcohol or smoking or drugs. So many bad habits some people will have when they come to Krishna consciousness. Or some people may be addicted to small sense gratification, like watching movie or watching serials or simply gossiping and wasting the time, all these things. But when they come to Krishna consciousness, whether they endeavor or they just unknowingly, they'll give up all these things. And after some time, they will not have time for any of these things. Their mind, or they will say that I have no time. I have to chant. I have to read. I want to understand what is Bhagavad Gita. I don't have time for reading Bhagavad Gita. Where is the time for other things? So this is the quality the person develops. This is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. So we don't have to worry about, oh, Krishna is giving so much of big list. How can I develop these qualities? How can I give up these qualities? This is not necessary. The worry is not necessary. Just to practice what Srila Prabhupada has told. Prabhupada has made everything very simple. There is no confusion. If we are practicing spirituality on our own, then there are so many things to follow and so many things to avoid. But Prabhupada made it very simple. Chant 16 rounds attentively every day without fail. Read my books 2 hours every day. And avoid follow 4 regulative principles. Then your life will be successful. There is no other things needed. We can see this whenever we are successfully doing, just like every day, if you are reading for 2 hours, Srila Prabhupada's books, you can read Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. 2 hours, sit in one place and continuously read it fully. Then you can also hear the lectures of Srila Prabhupada and chant the holy name, chant the Hare Krishna mantra in the morning, preferably morning time. Then that whole day is very nice. That whole day will go very peacefully. That will feel the Sattva Guna, the effect of Sattva Guna. And if we continue to do this every day, then we will be quickly advancing in spirituality. So these all are like practically visible. There is no somebody don't have to show us. Just like when we are hungry, we eat food, we eat prasadam, and our hunger is gone. We don't want somebody to come and tell that, oh, your hunger has gone now, you can stop eating. You don't have, nobody has to tell. You yourself will feel that your hunger is coming down or it is going away. Similarly, when we practicing Krishna consciousness, we ourselves will realize susukam kartum avyayam, pratyaksha avagamam dharmyam, susukam kartum avyayam. That is pratyaksha. We can see the result of practicing Krishna consciousness. One can easily become happy by practicing Krishna consciousness, and the Acharya has made it simple. He has made it practical for following. Even though earlier it was like you have to chant 64 rounds every day, and there are so many difficulties, but Prabhupada made it easy, provided you are busily engaged. There is one condition: if you are chanting 16 rounds, then you should be busily engaged. You have to do one or the other activity. Don't simply waste the time. If you have more time, then you chant more. If you have more time, read more, hear more. But if you have no time, if you are fully engaged in some one or the other activity, then chanting 16 rounds and reading for 2 hours is sufficient. Okay. Anybody like to read can raise their hand. Sarita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am.
Abhijatasya. The word abhijatasya, in reference to one born of transcendental qualities or godly tendencies, is very significant. To beget a child in a godly atmosphere is known in Vedic scriptures as Garbhadhana Samskara. If the parents want a child in the godly qualities, they should follow the principles recommended for the social life of the human being. 16.123 Purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So this is coming like abhijatasya. It is coming from the womb, or what kind of life that we are going to lead. Accordingly, we get the birth. If a person, he is very passionate, or in this life he has done so many sinful activities, his next life will be very conducive for that. That means if you want to practice, or if you want to be in an atmosphere, if you are happy in a rajasic environment, then you will take a birth in that atmosphere only. But if you are practiced Krishna consciousness in this life, then either you will go back to Godhead, or at least you will get another family or a environment where you can continue your Krishna consciousness. So this is not a punishment, or it is not by accident that a person gets a certain kind of parents or atmosphere. It is all by arrangement, and also it is according to the desire of the person. If a person who is a tamasic person, and he takes birth in the family of a sattva environment, that is goodness, then it is a trouble for both. For the person who has taken birth in that family, it's not a conducive environment, and also for those people who are in that family members, they also feel very suffocating, because this child is not listening, he is not following the principles. So the nature, by the Lord, or by the arrangement of the nature, it is arranged such that everything will match accordingly. So here Prabhupada is mentioning about Garbhadana Samskara. So if parents are desiring to get a devotee child, then they have to follow the samskara, so that they can attract a devotee child as their child. In ISKCON, we say that they both husband and wife should chant 50 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra for begetting a devotee child. That is the rule that it is told. So by doing this Garbhadana Samskara, there is a lot of things in this Garbhadana Samskara, but in brief, it is telling there are 50 rounds of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra is recommended. By doing this, the child which is taking birth, it will be a devotee child. The child which has already performed its devotional service in its previous life, and who has already advanced in the spirituality, that kind of child only will come as their child, and it is the responsibility of the parents to create an environment where the child is able to continue the devotional service. that it has practiced in its previous life. And it is the duty of parents to make their child Krishna conscious. Otherwise, it is said one should not become a guru or a parent or either father or mother. One should not take any of these responsibilities if he or she is not able to deliver the child or the disciple from this this cycle of birth and death. So that is a responsibility of all these people, those who are elderly, the parents, the spiritual master, all these people. Muralidhar Prabhu.
These demoniac qualities are taken on by them from the beginning of their bodies in the wombs of their mothers, and as they grow, they manifest all these inauspicious qualities. 16.4 purport, Prabhupada ki jai.
So this, in the very small child, these qualities may or may not be visible, but as they grow, they will show all these qualities. Just like when we see a weed in the field, we can, by seeing the quality of that or by seeing the nature of that plant, we can say whether this is a weed or this is a crop. So when we find that this is a weed, then it has to be removed and it has to be thrown away. Or at least when we are talking about a person, we should at least give him proper guidance so that he will not become a demon in his life. So these qualities, they will be gradually visible, but it is present from their very beginning of their birth itself. Especially it comes from the previous life, the samskaras, and also the parents also have some effect on the child. The samskaras of the parents, how they, what kind of samskara gives. Just like when Prahlad Maharaj was in the womb of his mother, Khayadu, she heard from Narad Muni the instructions, the spiritual instructions, but she could not remember, or she was very much afraid of the demigods, and her husband was not nearby, so she could not take advantage of that. But her child who was there in the womb, he heard everything and he became a devotee. So this is the effect, this something samskara which is coming from the parents. Through the mother, he got the spiritual instruction and he took advantage of that and he became a devotee. So reading and practicing Krishna consciousness when the child is in the womb is very much recommended. They should read Srimad Bhagavatam or other spiritual literatures which will have some effect on the child. Whenever they read it, we can practically see the child is exhibiting the similar kind of nature in its life after when they grow. So it is a responsibility of the parents. Another example is there in Srimad Bhagavatam, where there is a person called Vena. He is a son of Anga, where he was a demon by nature. He was demonic. In the very childhood, he was playing with other children, and while playing, he will pick a quarrel, and he used to take the small children and throw into the well, and he used to kill the children. He was a son of the king. So by seeing the nature of this person, this Vena, his father left the kingdom and he went away because he could not do anything. He could not change the child, means he could not convince the child or he could not guide him properly. He just left the kingdom. So this is the example for a demon who has taken these qualities from the very birth. His father is not a demon. His family is not a demon, but he got that demonic quality because in the previous life he has cultivated that quality. And for some certain reasons, such children will take birth among the devotees. And there is no certainty that all the children of devotees will become devotees. The parents may be very great devotees. Their children may not take to devotional life. they may not show any responsibility towards the spiritual life. Such things will happen. So we cannot by default we cannot understand or take it for granted that parents are devotees, so children also will definitely become devotees. No, that is also not possible. But most of the cases, yes, children, because parents are devotees, children also will be showing interest in the devotional life. Ma shuchaha sampadam daivim abhijatosi pandava. Now Krishna is confirming Arjuna. By hearing all these things, demonic quality, now Arjuna may have some doubt whether I am demonic or I am divine. So we also get sometimes doubts when we see all these examples, that is dambho, darpo, abhimanascha, krodha, parushamevacha. Whether I am also having this kind of tendency, am I belonging to this demonic nature? We should check ourselves. Then Krishna is confirming Arjuna. Arjuna, don't worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine quality. So Krishna himself is giving certificate to Arjuna. Arjuna, you are a person with the divine quality. So don't worry. You don't have any demonic quality. Because if Arjuna has any demonic quality, then Krishna will not speak to Arjuna this Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is a constant companion of Krishna. So definitely Arjuna is a pure devotee of the Lord. Whenever Krishna comes, Arjuna is also there in all his incarnations. When Krishna came as Narayana, Arjuna came as Nara. So Nara Narayana, he has come here once again as Krishna and Arjuna. So Arjuna is a person with the divine qualities. Radha Vallavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes.
Ma sucha sampadam devyam abhijato se pandava. His involvement in the fight was not demonic because he was considering the pros and cons, not acting under the influence of anger, false prestige or happiness. 16.5 purport. Srila Prabhupada.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Here we can see both had same opportunity, Duryodhana and Arjuna. But only Arjuna was worried. Arjuna was speaking, Krishna, if we fight this war, so many people are going to die. Who will take care of their family? What is their future? What will happen to the women and children at home? What will happen to the community projects? All these things Arjuna is thinking. That means he is divine. But Duryodhana, he is only trying to find some loophole in Dronacharya, so that he will fight vigorously and he will kill maximum enemies, maximum number of enemies. Even he speaks harsh about Bhishmacharya. He says that you are always having tendency towards the Pandavas. You will never kill them. You are simply making a show here. You are not fighting properly. You are killing only some soldiers. You are not killing any of the Pandavas. All the 5 Pandavas are still alive. So in this way, Duryodhana speaks very harsh, and he also speaks diplomatically to Dronacharya by taking the name of Drupada without having any respect for his master, the person who taught him the archery. These are the demonic qualities. But Arjuna, he never spoke like that. He was worried about everyone. He is worried even about his enemies. And to make others safe, that means to ensure a proper life for others, he is ready to live by begging. Because if Arjuna doesn't fight here, if he loses the battle, then he has to go to forest once again. He will not get his kingdom back. Then he has to live by begging. So Arjuna is telling, Krishna, I am ready to live by begging. I don't want this fight because I don't want to kill so many people. Let them live. Let me go back to the forest and live there peacefully, happily. By seeing all these things, we can understand that Arjuna is a person with the divine nature, and his involvement in this fight, that is the order of Krishna, and he is properly thinking about what are the pros and cons, what are the things are happening. Then only he takes action and he will fight for the right cause. Just like the policeman, he will fight for the right cause. He is not thinking whether this person is mine or not, or he is only worried how to keep the peace in the society. Similarly, Arjuna is doing the same. Sarita Kapoor Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam.
Hare.
Lokesmin deva asura eva cha. In this world, there are two kinds of created beings. One is called the divine and the other demonic. Bhagavad Gita 16.6. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Krishna is now continuing to explain the demonic qualities. What are the different demonic qualities are there? These all are explained in the next coming text continuously, one after another. Shri Hari Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Lokasmin deva asura eva cha. So they do not like people in divine nature. They will tolerate all kinds of noise, barking of the dogs, the motor car passing, the aeroplane on overhead. But as soon as there is kirtan, they are disturbed. They'll tolerate so many different types of noises, but they'll not tolerate kirtana. Hare Krishna.
Continue. Continue.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I would like to add one thing here.
Yeah.
Day before yesterday in our society, because it's a multi-society, whatever is written, it actually happened. People were complaining when somebody home there were loud noise of kirtan, but they never complain when there is loud noise of all kind of rock music or bands, and they have bands inside their own house and they play them, and they have pets also who have made lot of noise. They don't complain, but the moment they told the volume is loud, people are getting disturbed. This is very religious. There are other people of different faiths also. You cannot do chanting or this bhajan so loudly. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Continue, Mataji.
In the morning at 7 o'clock, we used to hold our class and there was little sound. Immediately the tenants from upwards, they'll come down and complain. Sometimes they will call for police. On the street, 2nd Avenue, there is always big trucks and motor cars going on, heavy sound. Then in your country, the garbage carrier sound, the digging sound, so many sounds they'll tolerate. And as soon Hare Krishna, oh, it is intolerable. This is demoniac. Bhagavad Gita 16.7, Hawaii, February 3, 1975. Shil Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. So this is the tendency of demons. They are not used to the sound or any kind of disturbance. All kinds of problems they are ready to tolerate. But because the demonic tendency is there within them, they cannot appreciate the holy name of the Lord. This is the root cause of the disease. The holy name of the Lord, it will not sit on their tongue, it will not sit on their ear. They are not qualified to hear such divine sound vibration. Because if they hear, then all the demonic nature will go away. It's like when Bali Maharaj was about to give everything to Lord Vamandev, then Shukracharya is worried. If you give everything, what will remain to me? Then where should I go? So the demonic nature within them, it will start creating problem. If you hear all these bhajans, then what scope is there for me in your life? So I will be out of your life. So don't hear. It will create a lot of disturbance within their heart when they start hearing the holy name of the Lord. Every person is a devotee. Everyone, like Jivara Swarupahaya Nitya Krishnara Das. But now we have forgotten everything. We are under the demonic nature, because of which we are being controlled by it. And it is taking all the freedom to drag us away from Krishna. when we sit for reading Bhagavad Gita, we get so many things in our mind. Oh, I have to do that. That work is pending. This work is pending. Who will do that? But when we are sitting for any other activity which is very much dear to us, then we don't remember any of the work. Now we are fully free. Yes, I can do this. But when we are sitting for chanting, then we will hear so many sound. Or somebody has come, somebody is waiting for me, or somebody is calling. We'll get, even though nothing is there, still we will have so many thoughts in our mind. Is this the right time to chant? There are so many activities are going on. How can I sit and chant here? Or how can I sit and read Bhagavad Gita now? Even though if you read for 10 or 15 minutes or maximum 30 minutes. But if we just open the WhatsApp and spend some 1 hour also, we don't feel I have spent so much of time on this mobile. But when we sit and read Bhagavad Gita, we'll feel, oh, 30 minutes I spent. So this is like we still have some tendency, or there are some nature within us which is pulling us away from Krishna. So we should think about all this. Prabhupada is giving the example of those days when Prabhupada was doing these kirtans. There were so many great souls who came to Prabhupada to help him and took advantage, and they all become devotees. But there are people who were trying to stop this because they just can't tolerate. In one of the country, Prabhupada says they eat the cockroaches, the lizard, everything that comes in their house. They will just kill it and put it in a drum, and then they will take it after some time and they eat it like a pickle. It's very horrible while hearing itself. But when Prabhupada went there in that place, and they were all devotees were cooking, making puris with the ghee, and so much nice fragrance was coming, and those people were complaining, oh, all this, what is this bad smell is coming, we can't just tolerate this. They like that pickle, but not this prasadam, this puri which is fried in the ghee, that is so delicious, that they don't like. Like if you are giving some food for a certain animal, it will not appreciate it. It will appreciate whatever it likes. If you give some milk to the hot milk to the cat, it will not drink immediately. It will just leave it for some time. And when that milk gets some fermentation, some smell will come. Then only it will go and eat it, or it will take it, because it likes that smell. That is the nature of that animal. So the demonic tendency which is there, which is present within us, it will not allow us to go to Krishna. When we sit and start chanting, this demonic or the sin which is present within us, it will come in the form of sleep. We'll start dozing immediately. After some time, we will not be attentive in chanting or reading. This is all because of the sinful reactions that we have done. But what is the solution? Just continue to practice, continue to chant, continue to read. Then it will go away after some time. One should continue his devotional life, then everything will be all right. So chapter 16 overview, transcendental and demonic qualities is explained from 1 to 6. Then demonic nature is from 7 to 18. Then finally 19 to 24, it is the results of demonic activities. If a person is developing these demonic activities or demonic nature, what is the consequences? These all are explained in this chapter. Here is a group exercise. So this is from newspapers or the current issues. You can take examples. Daivi Sampad, what are the good qualities? And Asuri Sampad, what are the Asuric natures? And Ugra Karmana. Ugra Karmana means very ghastly activities, very difficult to do, very difficult to practice. Just like the vehicles are run by the petroleum, and petroleum comes from the earth, which is a lot of work is there in taking that petrol and purifying it, and then use it in the vehicle, and then just for traveling from one place to another, we are making so much of arrangement, and now because of that, the whole economy is depending on it. If you want to just go from one place to another, it can just go by walking. But for small reasons, we are using the things which are very, otherwise it is very expensive. We have to pay lot many things. The air pollution, we are creating lot of problem. There is noise pollution, there is accident, so many health issues. All these things are happening. These all are ugra karmana. It is not that earlier people never knew how to use this petroleum or how to make the vehicles, but they had very broad understanding. They could see the future, what will happen if we do this. Then people will not walk. They'll always keep vehicles, and they will become obese. They get obesity, and because of this machine, people get so many diseases. Now, because we are not working, so many kinds of diseases will come. And there are many places, the medicine is to make a person to work. For that, they have to pay. Now, people go how to lose the weight. They'll pay and learn how to lose the weight. But actually, if you lose the weight, we can earn. If you work properly, then you lose your weight automatically. So, but what we do, we are just sitting quietly, then we are gaining weight, then we are paying someone to lose the weight. So this is like, these all are ugra karmana. It is actually not needed. If you are little intelligent, you can live a peaceful life. But because we are not managing properly, we get into trouble. So you can give some examples, but one thing is, don't take anybody's name or any organization name. This person has done like this. You just take the principle. Only the incidents you can give the examples. So this is a group exercise. You have time 3 minutes for discussion, 2 minutes for presentation. There are 19 people here. I'll make 4 groups. Is it okay, Muralidharan Prabhu?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So 4 groups will be made. 3 minutes for discussion and 2 minutes for presentation. Yeah, Deepti Mataji, you have any question? Hare Krishna. Welcome back to the session.
Hare Krishna.
We'll be discussing about divine nature, demonic nature, and Ugra Karma. Yeah, Radhavallavi Mataji, you can start.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. In our group, we have myself, Netravati Mataji, and Sri Haripriya Mataji. So I'll talk about the Sampada Devyam. See,
Yeah.
this is currently it is the Gita Marathon, which is ongoing, and there are a lot of emphasis, and people are going and distributing books to various people, despite of whether they know them or not, but they are going to the schools, even the prisons also they go and distribute so that is one construction of the temples which ISKCON is doing across the world. In India, this activity is being it's been growing, and we have the example of ISKCON Mangaluru also, and we have the TOVP which is getting built up, preaching free Bhagavad Gita classes which is happening through ISKCON Mangaluru and even other ISKCON temples. Kirtana, letting people know Lord Hari's name, performing kirtanas in the temple, and also Nagar Sankirtana. Yes. Sri Haripriya Mataji.
Unmute yourself, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. For
Yes,
Sampada Aswarim, the case where a living partner dismembered the other partner into many pieces and kept the pieces in the refrigerator, bought a new fridge, and then disposed of every parts individually over a period of 2-3 months. Then in Bihar recently, there was a huge tragedy which happened because of the adulterated liquor. Because of making some money, some people became so greedy that they started selling the cheap form of liquor, and because of that 80 persons died. And then the third example would be, there was a education center of ISKCON in Bengal which has recently been attacked by some other community people. So this is also into Sampadam Asurim, Prabhuji. These are my examples. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Netravati Mataji will tell about the Ugra Karmanas.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Dandavat pranams. Ugra Karmana, Prabhupada says it's horrible works like cutting trees. Deforestation is happening everywhere, and including so many companies. As we discussed, the points like terrorism and Chinese aggression, which is approaching, and hacking of certain spiritual websites. Yesterday, even our website, like temple website, also was eventually literate, but then we lost so many educational videos which were potential of studying Krishna consciousness.
It has come back, Mataji. It is come back. Now it's fine. Yeah.
And so many nuclear weapons and other aspects where people are getting harmed. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Radhavallavi Mataji. Sorry, that's over. Kiruba Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Devyam, that is the divine qualities. We can say that the charity given during the floods. Now many places the floods and cyclonic things. That time the food is distributed everyone in the public schools and other common places. Same thing in Krishna consciousness, we do as prasadam distribution for weekly congregational programs.
Yeah.
And books are distributed for education purpose for the poor students by the government. Same thing, we distribute the spiritual knowledge like Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam to everybody. And many motivational awards and things are given for the skilled peoples. So these things and all comes under divine qualities. And the demonic Ashuriam, we can see this Nagara Sankirtana. Some processions or congregational events, they get together, a gathering when we made. The other religious people or other common people who was not understanding that, they feel that it's a nuisance, it's a disturbance for them. So even some Friday programs, if we do some gatherings, being this multinational country, they immediately inform the security. So that is something, disturbance happens from the neighboring house like that. So crossing that difficulties, still we do this associations and the Sankirtans, and we share our purports and all in a low profile way. Even we are not allowed to go with a devotional dress or with the tilak and all in public places. So such difficulties are there in like other countries, in Islamic countries where we do these things. So, and also there in India also, if somebody doing this congregational activities, they keep banners and all, and they propagate their personal names as a priority. So instead of surrendering to the God, so such things and all comes in this Asuriam. And Ukra Karmana, we can say that various crimes happening in day-to-day life due to the demonic natures. And also the war, like Russian wars and Ukraine war, is unnecessarily extended. It's prolonged for a long time because of the pride of some individuals who governing the government. So these are all the various examples we see in day-to-day life. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Muralidharan Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavad Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare.
In our group, we also discussed about the activities of our own ISKCON temple at Mangaluru, the distribution of books. In this context, I just wanted to add, even the Defense Minister of India was here for the inauguration of the distribution, along with VIPs like, founder of Infosys, talking about their experience of Gita and the result of books being distributed to them. These are Daivik qualities I've seen. Our building of the temple at ISKCON also is going to be an event very soon that will become a public event. Preaching, of course, the sincerity with which our own Namanishta Prabhuji does a lot of things. Now we have since last 2 days, Nama with Nama, for chanting in a group, in sitting and on the Zoom. That's a very good activity. War, of course, has become a negative thing that has been going on. America finds itself as a leader who at least perpetrates 60 to 65 wars continuously running around the world with their weapons, and a business that goes for both garments as well as arms. These are two big businesses that thrive on wars, and they cannot put down wars. The war in Ukraine, like Kiruba Prabhuji said, yes, it has been something that is on for a very small reason, and nobody knows when is it going to really end. The other thing I wanted to share in our group was, yes, making of the Gurukuls is now a very positive thing that's going on. I have experience visiting the Gurukul here in Bangalore, Ashram of Art of Living. It has grown from a 200 and 300 strong to nearly 1,000. Some of them have become graduates. They study the normal study as well as the Kirtanas, which are from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m., then go to school. That is a very great quality that is possible in these times of lot of disturbances. Last but not the least, I follow and look at the way in which our Prime Minister lives, a simple living, austere living, and he practices the words he speaks. He spends little, he lives like a yogi, and that's also a good quality in the Gita that is something worth emulating for all of us. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Sureshwar Priya Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, I am audible. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Yes, ma'am.
I am audible.
Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna. I am very sorry.
Yes.
I am in for this one, Daivam Sambatam, for that we can say that old people are there without food and shelter. Suppose there are certain organizations here in Kerala, there are certain places they will keep the food packets and people can go and have it. They know that here it is distributed on so and so date. So they can go and take it free of cost. So that is a good activity. So that instead of giving money, if we are giving money, they may not buy food items, something else, then the giver also will get a papa or whatever activity. That is one thing I want to say. And the second thing, suppose most of the factories are attached with the rivers. So the water bodies are totally polluted and all the aquatics life has become miserable and nobody to question their life. So we are doing some selfish activities and that is supposed to be very, we can put it under Asuri. Okay. And another thing I want to tell you, every newspaper we can find the various kinds of eatables are promoted and all these eatables are made up of non-veg. And so that will be ultimately by killing another animal only. So that is Ugra Karmana. Hare Krishna. Now along with me, this was Sarita Kapoor Mataji, Sarita Mataji, Giridhar Prabhuji, and also Rakshida Mataji. They may also add some points. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Sarita Kapoor Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Prabhuji, this COVID was a combination of Devim and Asurim. We had a very live example of what had happened. There were people who were pour out their hearts to help the people. And there were at the same time, there was black marketing on the oxygen cylinders. Now, this was a very unique combination. So we can see that both type of people exist in the society. It's a way you use an opportunity. So same opportunity could be used for a proper purpose and same opportunity was used for for black marketing and for making money. So the people had used, because people had given food packets from the houses, they had entertained, they had even gone selfless services, online services, whatever was there. And I remember, Prabhuji, it's a small thing, but Prema Kishori Mataji and we had made one group and it was online consultations for people for there. And the same time, we were shocked that people were not getting oxygen cylinders, what to give them consultations. Yeah. And then there is the big businessman today, these days, they have made so much good organization that the old people or the single people who are left, they are doing a lot of work for them so that with the youngsters they have taken and they have made an organization where the single partner who's left behind should not be left behind alone. You said not to mention the name, so I'm not mentioning the name. And then this congregations are there a lot all over the world. Even we have a lot in Dubai congregations. Recently, we got that somebody's son is very sick in India and they need to raise some funds. So these congregations, how from the ISKCON it is, and it is really helping. So that is again into a Devim Prakriti, which is there. Then the Gurukul, there's one good Gurukul, which I know is being made in close to Aligarh. And that Kratu Maharaj is making it and belong with the congregation. So these are all which Giridhar Prabhuji also mentioned, that these are all to Devim. And for Asurim, there have been countries which have been wiped out because of Asurim Prakriti of one people. You know, so many countries had been wiped out nearly. And what you see it these days, again, the protest happening in so many countries about what to wear, about what not to wear, about what is happening. So they are all Devim. And so many in the news we see these days also, today, tomorrow, yesterday, they were all coming up, all Devim Prakriti, no, this movie should be banned, this should happen. So these all things are, because of the Devim Prakriti, that is only things are, Sampat Devim, because these are things are happening. Then we see the slaughterhouses, that is Ugravan, which is the so many slaughterhouses, and what years before, see, these things were there, Nagasaki, Hiroshima, what had happened years before, people are till date suffering from there. The generations and generations had suffered. So much of phocomelia had happened, the children lacking the limbs and all with the mothers who were pregnant. These all things had happened at that time. So that was under the Ugra karma. And this war everybody has mentioned, which is directly and where there is always a threat of a nuclear. We are competing with nuclear weapons. We are trying to go, I don't know if it comes under Asurim, where we are trying to go to other planets and trying to explore things. Some things may be good also, Prabhuji, because we are connected together by Zoom because of this technology only. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. And some of them are like obviously, if too much beyond it, it may come into a Asurim. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So advancement of civilization, whatever facility it gives, we have to use it for benefit. But otherwise, it is not necessary. When Shukadeva Goswami, he was speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, there was no mic system. Even though there were so many sages were sitting, because the environment was so calm. Even today we can feel it. If you are speaking early morning, 4:30 or 5 o'clock, the voice is reachable to everyone. But now after 6 or 6:30, all vehicles will start horning, and it will start all noises. Then nobody can hear beyond certain limit. But if otherwise, with to certain extent, so many meters, we can see the voice is clearly visible, and people all can sit and hear. This is possible, provided we have a peaceful environment. Whatever advancement the material science it has done, we are not able to use our earlier environment because of this advancement in science. So science itself is giving certain solution for that. So you can use this. So that problem has been come out. So Prabhupada says that is whatever possible, we have to use it in the service of the Lord. That is the Yukta Vairagya. So in that way we can take it. Yeah, I thank all the devotees for actively participating. Let us continue. Next session, next part of this.
We have a Kirtan, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please. Prabhu. Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna. Deepti Mataji is doing the Kirtan today.
Yeah, please, Mataji.
Mataji, can you raise your hand?
Yeah, I made her co-host.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Do I need to share the screen as well?
You can.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mataji.
If you can be visible a little more, you're going down.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisheshi Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Mane Ranande Bhai Bol Hari Bol Mane Ranande Bhai Bol Hari 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 Bol Janame Sukhe Bol Hari Bol Janame Sukhe Bol Hari 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 Bol Manav Janma Pai Bol Hari Bol Manav Janma Pai Bol Hari 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 Bol Sukhe Thako Bol Hari Bol Sukhe Thako Bol Hari 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 Bol Sampati Vipade Pai Bol Hari Bol Sampati Vipade Pai Bol Hari 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 Bol गृहे ठाको वने ठाको बोल हरि बोल गृहे ठाको वने ठाको बोल हरि बोल बोल हरि बोल बोल हरि बोल बोल हरि बोल कृष्णेरा संसारे ठाकी बोल हरि बोल कृष्णेरा संसारे ठाकी बोल हरि बोल 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 असत संग टाड़ी बाई बोल हरि बोल असत संग टाड़ी बाई बोल हरि बोल 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 वैष्णव चरण पोड़ी बोल हरि बोल वैष्णव चरण पोड़ी बोल हरि बोल 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 गौरा नित्यानंद बोलो गौरा नित्यानंद बोल गौरा नित्यानंद बोल गौरा नित्यानंद बोल गौरा गदाधर बोल गौरा गदाधर बोल गौरा गदाधर बोल गौरा गदाधर बोल गौरा अद्वैत बोल गौरा अद्वैत बोल गौरा अद्वैत बोल गौरा अद्वैत बोल बोल हरि 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 बोल माने आनंदे भाई बोल हरि बोल माने आनंदे भाई बोल हरि बोल 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 जनम सुखे बोल हरि बोल जनम सुखे बोल हरि बोल 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 Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, shall we read the translation?
Yeah, please. Yes, Mataji.
Chant the name of Hari, O brothers, with blissful minds. Chant the name of Hari. Chant the name of Hari, birth after birth in happiness. Chant the name of Hari. Chant the name of Hari, O brothers. You have obtained a human birth. Now chant the name of Hari. Chant the name of Hari, whether you are in happiness or distress. Chant the name of Hari. Chant the name of Hari, O brothers, whether in prosperity or misfortune. Chant the name of Hari. Chant the name of Hari, whether you live at home or in the forest. Chant the name of Hari. Remaining in this material world for Krishna's purposes. Chant the name of Hari. Chant the name of Hari, O brothers. Give up the association of non-devotees and chant the name of Hari. Chant the name of Hari. Falling at the feet of the Vaishnavas, chant the name of Hari. Chant the name of Hari. Chant the names of Gaura and Nityananda. Chant the names of Gaura and Gadadhara. Chant the names of Gaura and Advaita. This song was written by Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakur Maharaj, and the book name is Gita. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Let us continue to the presentation. Now we'll see what are the results of cultivating these demonic qualities. What is going to happen for a person who has taken to this demonic quality. So Krishna is going to scold all the people, those who have taken to this demonic quality. Sarita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Result of Sampadam Asurim. Tan aham dvishta kruran samsareshu naradhaman kshipami Ajashram Ashubhan Ashurishva Eva Yonishu. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life. Bhagavad Gita 16.8-19. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. So this is the shloka which Krishna is speaking with anger, or he is scolding the people. Tanaham dushata kruran. If you cultivate all these demonic qualities, I will put you in this asuri yoni, birth after life, birth after birth, like that. So Krishna is speaking with this so much of anger with all these people who are creating this kind of demonic nature in this material world. Because we have this demonic tendency within us, there is a need for creating this demonic species. So this demonic species will allow the jiva to express this kind of tendency. The demons, they have the tendency to control others, or they want to show that they are the great demons. So there is a need for creating such environment, because every living entity comes to material world to fulfill his material desires. So that kind of environment has to be created. You have the example of Vrikasura or the Bhasmasura. He did a lot of tapasya to Lord Shiva, and finally he was about to cut his own head. If you don't come, I will cut my head and throw into this fire. So he came. Then what did he ask? Whoever I touch, whose head I touch, they should be burnt into ashes immediately. So that is the demonic nature, or it's a desire that he had. So he wants to execute that. So that kind of environment will be created. A dog, if you see, it is unnecessarily barking. If the dog sees anything unfamiliar, it will start barking. But a cow, it will not do like that. It will not show any anger at any unknown person. It will be on its own. It will not create any problem. But there are certain animals, just like a snake. The snake, it will just come and bite. If anybody comes in touch with the snake, unknowingly, if you step on it, it will immediately bite the person. Or simply it will come and bite and run away. So such animals are there. They'll just create problem. Why? Because they have that demonic tendency with them. By doing so, they will feel some kind of satisfaction. So that's why this kind of species are created. Just like a person wants to fly in the air. That's why the species like bird is created. So you take the life of a bird, you can fly. The human being, whoever trying to fly like a bird, this human body is not meant for you. If you fall down, you will die. So better you take the body of a bird and you can keep flying. And people, they go deep into the sea like fishes. So don't worry, I'll give you the body of a fish. You can be in water for whatever time you want. So don't make so much of arrangement to put so many cylinders and so many arrangements. Don't worry about that. I will give you the opportunity. You can go. So like that, all these species are created for fulfilling the desires of living entities. Radha Vallabhi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Results of Sampadam Asuran. Therefore, in the material existence, we find so many species of life, animals, insects, men, and so on. All are arranged by the superior power. They are not accidental. As for the demonic, it is clearly said here that they are perpetually put into the wombs of demons, and thus they continue to be envious, the lowest of mankind. 16.19. Purport. Srila Prabhupada teacher. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Next, there are 3 doors to the hell that is explained in this. Trividham narakasyedam dwaram nashanamatmanaha kama krodhas tatha lobha tasmadeta triyam tyajet. There are 3 gates leading to hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give up this then for they lead to the degradation of the soul. This we have seen in the beginning also. So lust, anger, and greed, these three things, it will take a person to the hell. If we try to satisfy our lust or anger or greed, then we will end up in the hell. But what is the solution? It has to be dovetailed. The person who is having lust, anger, and greed, it has to be dovetailed in the service of the Lord. Just like we say, the conservation of energy. Energy can never be created nor be destroyed. So you cannot destroy the energy that one has, but it can be converted from one form to another. So from the demonic tendency to the divine tendency, a person has to transform himself and use that energy in the service of the Lord. Then it can create a wonderful environment. It will create a lot of good opportunities so that a person can become peaceful. Jayanti Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Raise oneself at least to the mode of goodness. One has to raise himself at least to the mode of goodness before the path of understanding the Supreme Lord can be opened. Without raising oneself to the understand of the mode of goodness, one remains in the ignorance and passion, which are the cause of demonic life. Purport 16.24 Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
So this is how we can check ourselves where we are situated. Are we in the goodness? Are we in the passion? Or are we in the ignorance? The chapter number 14 as well as chapter number 18, it will give elaborate explanation to check oneself whether a person is in goodness, passion, or ignorance. And when we find ourselves in the passion or ignorance, it is the time to rectify the problem. So when we are in this passion and ignorance, there is a chances of degradation. But when we are in the mode of goodness, then there is a elevation. Urdhvam gacchanti sattvasto madhye tishtanti rajasa jaganna gunavrittischa adho gacchanti tamasa. If you want to go upwards, then this is the goodness one has to practice. You have to come to the platform of goodness. Just like for an aeroplane, we need the runway. The runway is, even though it is on the land, it is the one which will help us help the aeroplane to take off to the sky. Similarly, the goodness is also a quality. It is also material quality, but still it is the higher than passion and ignorance. It will help us to go beyond the three qualities, triguna, and then one can come to the sattva guna, the shuddha sattva, and one can perform the unalloyed devotional service to the Lord. So goodness is the platform for practicing spirituality. So gradually one can come out even from the goodness also, because goodness also binding a person. How it is binding? In a goodness, person becomes very happy and he is very knowledgeable. Because of this, if he gets attached to it, that means, okay, I'm very happily living here and I have all the knowledge and I know how to live here peacefully. Then still he is not out of birth, death, old age and disease, and there is a chance for gliding down towards the passion and ignorance. When a person becomes too much knowledgeable, then there is pride, which is again it is a passion. And when a person becomes very much happy, then there is laziness and it can degrade him to the ignorance. So in goodness also, if a person become complacent and if he doesn't continue there, then he will come down. We should always keep moving in the spirituality. We should always try to advance ourselves. Otherwise, we will be degraded. We cannot stop. We cannot stop our practice. We should always increase the devotional service, the quality of devotional service, and we should advance further. Always we should go move forward. Otherwise, we cannot stay in one place. If you try to stay also, the other modes will pull down, so that it will take over. So always try to move forward. Sarita Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Raise oneself at least to the mode of goodness. Without coming to the platform of Sattva Guna, nobody can advance in the spiritual life. That is a fact. Just like nobody is allowed to enter the law college unless he is a graduate. This restriction is there. What he will understand law? He must be a graduate. So similarly, first of all, one has to come to the platform of Sattva Guna. Then spiritual knowledge begins. Bhagavad Gita 17.1 to 17.3, Honolulu, July 4, 1974. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So this is a basic quality for a person. Person who is in Sattva Guna, he will take all the benefits of reading Shastra and practicing Krishna consciousness. He can easily come to the Shuddha Sattva or pure devotional service. Not otherwise. If a person is in Rajoguna or Tamoguna, it is very difficult for him to get the benefits. Just like it is told, if you are following the Shastra, if you are doing devotional service to the Lord will always protect us. And the Lord will reciprocate to us. This is all possible only if you are practicing this Sattva Guna or you are practicing Krishna consciousness, not otherwise. For the demonic people or the person who is in passion and ignorance, the Lord will not show himself. It is the material nature which will control them. So one has to become devotee of the Lord, then only he will get the direct supervision by the Lord. Ananyas chintayanto mam yejana pariyupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vahami aham. Krishna says, I will take care of them. Whoever becomes devotee, he will be directly under the jurisdiction of Krishna. He is no more under the jurisdiction of the material nature. So anything that happens, Krishna will directly take the responsibility. Just like Arjuna was fighting, and there were so many weapons that were thrown to Arjuna to kill him. His entire chariot had to get burnt with that weapons. But because Krishna was there, the effect of the weapon itself was nullified. Nothing happened to him because Krishna is taking the responsibility to save Arjuna. And if somebody is being protected by Krishna, nobody can kill him. And if Krishna wants to kill somebody, nobody can protect him. Rake Krishna mare Krishna rake ke. So that is, whoever is being protected, who is under the protection of Krishna, nobody can harm them. So it is always intelligent to be under the protection of the Lord instead of being under the protection of the material world. Because material world is like a law, like a government. It is all going by the rules. But when we are under the protection of the Lord, it is a personal protection a devotee will get. Just like Krishna says, even if my devotee does some mistake, sometimes he should not be condemned. We should still consider him as the devotee. Why? Because Krishna is ensuring that he will Chipram Bhavati Dharmatma Shashvatamti Nigachati Kaunteya Pratijanihi Name Bhakta Pranashyati. His devotee will never fall down because he is practicing Krishna consciousness. So Apiche Suduracharo Bhajate Mam Ananya Bhak. One who is practicing Krishna consciousness, even though he does some mistake, Krishna will forgive him and he will give another opportunity to continue. So all these benefits are available only if you are practicing Krishna consciousness and if you are coming under the protection of the Lord, not otherwise. If you are in passion and ignorance, we have to undergo the stringent laws of material nature. For any mistake that we have done, we have to take so much of trouble. We have to undergo a lot of difficulties. But by taking the devotional service, one can easily transcend all these problems and he can come to the platform of Sattva Guna and he can go beyond that and one can perfect one's life. So today we have seen the overview of Bhagavad Gita chapter 16 and what is the link between 14, 15, and 16 altogether. That is, 14 is about the modes, 15 about the material nature, that is the good and bad, and 16 is about the demonic and the divine natures. And then discuss the significance of the word abhijatasya, how the qualities, demonic qualities, are present in the living entity beginning from the birth itself. Then describe the destination of those who develop demonic nature. Krishna will put them again and again in the womb of demonic living entities. Then identify examples for demonic and divine natures. By we have the activity, current world affairs. Examples of Ugra Karma to current society at large. So finally, let us hear from Srila Prabhupada. Shri Hari Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam.
Hare.
So those godly characteristics are there. Either you practice yourself to come to the godly characteristics, or there is a simple method. If you take to devotional service, all the godly qualities automatically come. This is the process. So in this age, to develop these godly qualities is very difficult. But if you take to Krishna consciousness, by the simple method, by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, then automatically you develop all the godly qualities. Bhagavad Gita 16.2 to 16.7, Bombay, April 8, 1971. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So as we take the medicine, gradually all the diseases will go away. As we practice Krishna consciousness, all the good qualities will develop within us. All the bad qualities will go away. So practice Krishna consciousness and be happy. Chant and be happy. So that is Srila Prabhupada has taught us. So with this, we have come to the end of the 16th chapter. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If anybody has any questions, they can raise their hand and ask the questions with regard to the today's chapter. Shri Hari Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is regarding in the previous, earlier one, in the beginning, sorry, when you were mentioning about the demonic and divine qualities, in this is related to Jyotish or astrology. When Abhijatasya, when you were mentioning that the moment the child is born, if we go through the horoscope, there is a Gan which is mentioned. And in Gan, it is mentioned whether it is a Rakshasi Gan, Devta, or Manushya Gan. And accordingly, some ritual is performed that I am not aware of categorically. Then while the time of matchmaking, you try, when those things are matched, then they try to match the Gana also of the bride and the groom, or a boy or a girl. So is it on the same lines that you are mentioning? Because it is prohibited if you mention in the, like if the Devta Gan person is not married to a Asur or a Dan, whatever the third quality, Rakshas Gan. So is it the reason? And the Manushya Gan comes in the middle one. So they can marry, the Manushya Gan can marry a Devta, Manushya Gan can marry a Rakshas Gan, but the Devta and the Rakshas Gan people are not married. That is not a good combination. That is what they say. So is it based on these lines also, because they define the characteristic of a person?
First of all, I'm not good at astrology. So that one thing I have to accept. This Devatagan or Rakshasgan, whatever they say, but that quality will not be visible in that person. I don't know on what basis they say that, but it doesn't mean that a person who has Rakshasi Gan, one who is getting, he will be having that Rakshasi tendency. It will not be there. So based on certain calculation, they may be giving that, but it has nothing to do with the nature of the person, as we can see practically. It's my opinion.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sarita Kapoor Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a question. that supposing in a family, now there are people of the varieties of thoughts in the same family, though they are closely knit, even maybe the father, mother, the children, they all have their different thought processes. Now, if the father or whoever's the bread earner does not bring a very fair money in the house, how much it's repercussion for the whole family to be affected, because they are also using that money only, which is raising them up. Will that affect their bringing up? Obviously it will, but I feel it, I may be wrong, but only thing is that they are using the same money, they are following the same process. How much will it affect upon their demonic or divine characteristics? And secondly, Prabhuji, there is a demon in everybody. I feel there is a wrong processes, thought process, there are little demons sitting everywhere. So how to get rid of that, even if it's a most of the adverse situations? These two questions.
First question is a source of income. What source of income you have? Based on that, you will get the a similar kind of mode you will get into. If you are getting the money from a bad source, either by maintaining a liquor shop or maintaining a this kasai, the slaughterhouse, if you are maintaining from that, you are getting some profit, you are working for it. Definitely the people, whoever gets benefited by that money, will all get the result, will all get the punishment. It's like a murder happens, police inquiry happens, and they will check each and every person who has helped to that murder case. It is not that only the person who has killed the another person who will be punished. It is all the people who has given the information, who have given the money, who gave all the facility, who helped him to escape, who has destroyed the evidences. Everyone will be punished. Similarly, if somebody is making the arrangement, just like a driver, a person who is driving for slaughterhouse, he will also get the reaction because he is taking the benefit out of it. So definitely family members, if they are having a bad source of income, they will get the reaction. But on the Karmakanda platform, there are so many atonements one can perform and to get purified, but the proportionate proportion to what the result will come, it is different. The person who is directly earning, he will get a lot of more proportion. The other family members will have less proportion because either they don't have any other source of income, or it is by birth, or it is already predestined that they have to come under his control or under his protection. So because of that, the quantity, it will be less. Just like a murderer's parents, they will not be punished by the government, but definitely they will have some disturbance from the society. That is also a kind of punishment. We cannot avoid it. Even though the government doesn't arrest the parents or relatives of a murderer, they will only arrest that person, but all other people will get that bad name. So that kind of reactions will come on them. And what is the second question, Mataji?
I was telling there's a demon in everyone.
Yeah, that three qualities are there in every person, either goodness or passion or ignorance. This is like you have 3 dogs at your house, and whichever dog you feed, that dog becomes stronger. If you feed goodness, you will get more goodness. If you feed passion, you will get more passionate tendency. If you feed the ignorance, then ignorance tendency will grow. And at a time, any one mode will be prominent. There is always fight between these 3. It is explained in the 14th chapter. The goodness also wants to become the superior. The passion also wants to become superior. Just like the election party, there are 3 election party. All the 3 are trying to take over the government. Similarly, all the 3 modes are trying to take over us. I will become the controller, I will become the controller. So whichever mode, but in your hand it is there, whomever you feed, whomever you support, that party will win. So you decide which one you want to be controlled by. If a person is getting up early in the morning and he has no bad qualities, bad habits like the liquor or alcohol, smoking, all these no bad habits, and he doesn't get into bad circles of friends, then there is a very good chance that he will always remain in the goodness. But still sometimes some of the tendencies will come. It is like a bubble. If you have a well, there is some bubble will come from the bottom of the well. We don't know from where it comes. From past some activity, some thoughts may come. But if our sadhana is strong, then such things will not do anything for us. It will create little damage and it will go away. But if you are contemplating, contemplation creates, it will make it more powerful. Contemplating on the object. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu pajayate. Sangat sanjayate kama, kamat krodho vijayate. It just goes on increasing. If you don't contemplate, then it is not a problem. It will just go away. But if we contemplate, then it is very difficult to break. I want that. Then you can't stop it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Rakshita Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, this is based on what you just said, contemplation. So if we contemplate something which is related to service to Krishna, but we are not getting it, maybe because we are not qualified or something like that. So is that contemplation okay? Because we are again carried away by thoughts only. I want to serve him there, I want to go there, I want to do this, but then that's not happening. Or maybe I want to, okay, there's Ekadashi tomorrow, I want to chant 64 rounds, it's not happening. So we are constantly contemplating on that. And once it doesn't happen, sometimes we get angry, sometimes we start shouting at others. What category does this belong to, Prabhuji?
Yeah, this is another kind of Ugra karma, but it is transcendental. We should not try to become pure devotee in a very early stage. Just like Raghunath Goswami used to take some little curd once in 3 days. But we can't do that. It is not recommended also. Haridas Thakur used to chant 192 rounds every day because he had that taste. Why it is not happening for us? Because we have some other priority. Everyone has 24 hours, but we have different priority. What kind of life we are leading, based on that our priorities are different. So in my capacity, whatever possible we should do. Otherwise, yeah, definitely there is a danger of destroying the spiritual life. Simply if you just try to take to the very high level in the very beginning itself. So start with the whatever it is taught, whatever it is recommended, accordingly one should do. And one more thing you can do, make a list of all the impediments. What are the things which is stopping you from chanting that 64 rounds? Just make a list of it. Okay, this is the problem, this is the problem. Then you just make a brainstorming on that. Can I remove all these obstacles? If yes, then you can remove it. If not, then you just be satisfied, because you are yourself telling it can't be removed. So there is nothing to get angry at anyone. So that is the way you can. But it is very good that you have that desire to improve the spirituality, because it is always like either you go up or you go down. You can't stay wherever you are. If you just relax, then the other modes will pull down. So we should always try to improve our sadhana, the tapasya or the austerity. Austerity means you should always keep increasing. Now you are doing Ekadashi, maybe you are eating some fruits or milk only. Some people eat without any cooked food. They don't cook anything, either vegetables or anything. They'll eat only fresh fresh fruits and milk. And some people take only water. So those who are taking only fruits and milk, they can try for only water gradually. So those who are taking only water, they can stop drinking water for half day. Then after 12 p.m. you can start drinking water. So gradually you can increase, but it is also, don't concentrate on all this tapasya more. We should concentrate positively. What we are not doing, that need not be concentrated much. It will go away. But what we have to do, what we can do more, that we have to concentrate more. So if you're chanting 32 rounds every day in the Ekadashi, then you can go on increasing little more and more. Or increase the chanting and reading. The austerity will follow accordingly. Just like many people, they don't plan for giving up things in the Ekadashi day. It will just happens. Because I had no time, I had not eaten. In that way, it should be. It is not that I intentionally stopped eating, drinking water, because of which I am not able to chant now, or because of which I can't read, and somebody calls me for book distribution or Nagar Sankirtan, and I'll tell, no, I am following Ekadashi today. I am not having strength. I can't come. So that should not happen. And in another way, people get a lot of strength during Ekadashi. They do a lot of work. And on the Dwadashi, they'll fully down because all the energy is spent. So Dwadashi, they will feel very difficult to get up in the morning. That also should not be done. We should balance everything. Nobody is forcing us. Prabhupada has given a very simple method. Don't complicate it. Do it. If you do it is well and good, but not at the cost of losing your tomorrow. So that should be taken care.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, if there are no more questions, then we will stop for today. Next session, we'll be continuing the next week. That is the 17th chapter. So 2 more chapters are there. I thank all the devotees for coming to the session today. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.